Welcome. This is the big one. Now, policy think tank, Institute of Energy and Climate Change Policy, Iecp, says the finance minister's decision to retain the energy sector levy in the medium term is a prudent one. The energy sector levies were introduced in 2015 as part of measures to raise funds to settle the indebtedness of Water River Authority VRA and the Electricity Company of Ghana ECG to some commercial banks in the country. The Institute of Energy and Climate Change Policy has called on Finance Minister Ken Ofori-Atta to be more accountable to Ghanaians in terms of proceeds from the energy sector levy. It also appealed to the Finance Minister to provide routine, either quarterly or every 6 month report of the income stream status from the levy. The VRA is indebted to about 11 commercial banks to the tune of some more than 4 billion Ghana cedis. The current debt agreement reached with the banks with the backing of government is aimed at retiring 2.2 billion of the total amount. A key feature of the deal, however, agreed with the banks, saw the reduction of the interest rate on the CD component of the VRA debt from 30% to 22%, whereas interest on the foreign debt component was successfully negotiated from 11 to 8.5%. Right, so I've been joined tonight in the studio by Dr. Philip Kofi Adom, who is the research director and policy head of policy at the Institute of Energy and Climate Change Policy. He's here in the studio with me. Doc, good evening and thank you extremely for your time.
Good evening.
I'm happy that you came. The MPP during its campaign promised that it will remove the energy sector levy, but it does appear that the finance minister is saying these levies are needed to extinguish, that's the word he used, the web of debt in the sector, which also, he says, threatens the banking sector. Your institute agrees with this?
Yes, we totally agree with this decision by this finance minister. And why do we say so? I think you agree with me that during the campaign period, I think it was a promise made to Ghanaians that when they come to office, they were going to ensure, as part of the things to do to bring relief to the ordinary consumers, was to make sure they take off some taxes they feel, as if I should borrow their word, were actually nuisance.
Nuisance taxes.
Yeah. But if you look at this particular levy, as you know, this levy came purposely to help us defray some of the debts in the energy sector. So if as a government you come into power and you want to take off this levy, then there should be some contingency measure in place.
You need to have the money to plug that debt loophole.
Yeah, and as you all know, if you look at our physical situation now, things doesn't look that very good. And so we feel that this levy should still be in place, but I think what Ghanaians would need from this government is accountability. At least we should know, I think, and this shouldn't be something very difficult.
Talking about accountability, you have said that you want the finance minister to be more accountable to Ghanaians in terms of proceeds from the energy sector levy. Is this to suggest that your view or position as an institute is that previous governments were not that transparent when it came to the levy?
Yeah, I think it's good you give credit to who is that. I think the past finance minister, I think, came out with, I think, one time about some amount of money that we got from this levy. But we feel that we know the amount of debt that we want this levy to defray. And I think as a way of projections, it behoves on the ministry to at least come to the public to let us know that maybe we need about 2 or 3 years to be able to defray this amount of debt that we want to pay of using this levy. And I think if that information should get down to Ghanaians, I think that would be more appropriate than letting it be that very open. For now, it seems to me as if the levy is going to be there for lifetime, but if you look at it from its natural implementation, it shouldn't be, because this came to...
Why do you get the impression that the levy could be there for a lifetime? Do you get the feeling that enough policies have not been put in place to ensure the debts accruing in the energy sector are cleared?
Yeah, I think for what has been done in the past, you know, if I think enough measures was not put in place to let Ghanaians get that assurity that this levy was actually going to last for just
a couple of years.
Like a couple of years.
But now it's been here for a while, and
yeah, I think it came in 2015, and at least so by now as a country we should be able to know.
We should have been reaching the tapering end of the debt, so that we know that the lifespan of these levies.
Yeah, and I think that is the information that has not really got into the public, which I think the new government which has come, the new government which has come into place should actually do. Yeah.
I know you're not a politician, but the MPP during the campaign promised that it will strike out the levy, and it does appear that the finance minister coming in to get a proper appraisal of the situation on the ground feels that it has to be maintained for a while. You mentioned some 3 years. I'm not sure you think that 3 years is enough for the government to perhaps slowly phase out the energy sector levy. Do you think it will take a while to
I think
to cancel it?
Yeah, for now I think what we really need is to get some projections from the ministry. For example, like we need to know how much of the total debt is this levy going to help us defray, and how much income are we getting from this levy, either on a monthly basis or on an annual basis. If we get these figures right, then I think it will be easy for us to, as a country, to know that we may need either 3 years or 4 years or 5 years to be able to defray this.
3 or 5 years. So it's not going to be soon as possible. Soon as the political promises make it look like.
I think it is something they really have to be patient about and really, study the system, because as they know, the so-called, let's say, stable power sector we are enjoying now is still very fragile, and the least the government will want to do is to
make it worse.
To a lie that is going to throw things out.
Now, your institute also has concerns with the street light levies that Ghanaians pay. What are these concerns?
I think one major concern that we have is the rationale behind the pricing. Currently, a consumer pays 5% of his total energy consumption as street light levy. And for us, if you think of street light, this is a public good. Nobody benefits more than the other. And so it means that with the current pricing strategy, what it means that for those who consumes more energy has to pay more. And we feel that there's a better way to do this.
And which one is the better way?
And I think one way that we can do this is to look at the median consumer and apply this rate too. But now the way as it stands is like
some people are paying more than others, and that's unfair.
That to us as an institute we think is not very fair.
But would it be effective to use the median consumer as a baseline to determine a fixed amount that everybody pays? Is that workable, especially considering that there are a lot of consumers who are not caught up in the formal web? I mean, I just want to say directly that there are a lot of illegal connections. People enjoy energy, they're not paying the appropriate rates, and the few who are paying are stifled. I mean, they're strangled with how much they're paying. So if there is no fairness there, what is the guarantee that if we set a median and a fixed amount of what everyone should pay for street lights, this will be fair also?
I think you are very right on that point, that at the moment it's like you have a very few in the bracket that are actually facing most of these policy initiatives. But then I think that on the part of these illegal consumers, let me put it that way, as people, I think we need also to intensify this our prepaid meters. It is something that as a nation we have to really take very serious, because I think the utility company, especially the distribution side, will agree with me that ever since the coming in of this prepaid, it has actually improved their revenue flow somehow. And it also helps, you know, stop many of these, you know, illegal connections. And even it actually imposes some kind of responsibilities on the ordinary consumer to be energy conscious, because at the moment you have some people who are hooked onto this prepaid, others who are not hooked to. So there's a whole lot of unfairness in the system, even in terms of the pricing of energy. So I think on the part of the policy makers, it is something that I think they should really take very serious. At least we should ensure to get 100% coverage of at least trying to get everybody connected to the prepaid, and I think that is going to really help the financial position of the
And you also spoke about energy conservation and the fact that when the prepaid metering system is perfected, everybody gets to have a sense of responsibility to conserve energy. But it does appear that energy conservation has not caught on very well with Ghanaians. Is there something we're not doing right?
Yeah, I think that I would say it is a lack of education. Let me say that, and the institute in charge of that, I think, has to up their game. And I think in this country, what we have realized is that we have not really personalized energy conservation or efficiency. You see, if I conserve energy, the benefit first and foremost comes to me as a consumer, and that is you are now reducing your energy expenditure level. And the other thing is also that you help, you know, reduce wastage in the system, and you help reduce pressure on the supply side. So, you know, on the whole, at least it ensures that you get constant supply of energy. So I think as a nation, we should really increase our effort in terms of educating people on the need to conserve energy. And I think that is something that this current government should make it a priority, because I think energy conservation is a way that can bring some kind of relief in terms of the tariffs or the expenditures that people, you know, incur on their energy.
Right, Dr. Adom, we're grateful for your time tonight. Dr. Adom is with the Institute of Energy Conservation Policy. I'm Stephen Enti.